we have to help the food pantries. They are doing amazing work in this weird, crazy time, and we could not be more grateful for all of you coming and helping and assisting as we move forward. So before we go ahead and get all official on you, just some Zoom etiquette. I don't know. Apparently there is such a thing. Zoom etiquette. Before we begin, I just want to let you know that you can use the view tab in the upper right corner of your screen to choose your viewing preference. Most people find speaker view to be the most preferable. So if you go to speaker view, that's a good way. I also want you to know that you're muted. We've done that for you. Boy, I wish I had that capability from, let's say 9 to 10:50 weekday mornings on WAMC. But anyway, you are muted. And then when you have something really cool to say, we'll unmute you. So, by the way, the plus of that is I think I was muted there for a second. Was that intentional, Kathy? Were you okay? All right. All right. I'm going to go on then. I didn't know if I said something already to offend somebody and I was turned off. So since you are muted, be as loud as you want to at home. Nobody cares. Who cares about the neighbors or the kids or anybody else? Do whatever you want. Have a great time. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I want to remind you about the online auction. The online auction is that is a great thing, and it's really cool. And I believe it goes through October 30th, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow at 7 o'clock, you have until tomorrow 7 o'clock to figure out the online auction, as well as the virtual wine poll and the mission auction, all of those. So the online auction, the virtual wine poll, and the mission auction are occurring during tonight's festivities and through 7 p.m. tomorrow. So plenty of time. No excuses, but why not do it now? A link will be posted in the chat, and if it's not there, it will be very, very soon. And during your breakout session tonight, you can do that or do that later. It'll be terrific. Okay. Speaking about the breakout sessions, these are very cool. I am very excited to host the beer and food pairing with Deanna Fox of the Albany Cooking School and Jeremy Cowan of Schmaltz Brewing, two very good friends that I'm delighted to be with. So that will be an awful lot of fun. The virtual wine tasting with Dr. Krista Dennis, a West certified wine educator, will be hosted by none other than Ashley Miller of WNYT. Also, the chef and restaurant panel discussion we're calling the Foodie Fix. I love that, the Foodie Fix. Chef Eric Tizai will be of Prime Business Dining by Mazzone. Owner and chef of Allie B's Cozy Kitchen in Albany, the one, the only Kizzy Williams will be in there. Our dear friend Steve Barnes, restaurant columnist at the Times Union, and Donna Pernomo of Yono's Restaurant. It is a very free-flowing conversation and will be hosted by our very good friend Emily DeVito of WNYT. All right, I think I have all of the housekeeping stuff. Now we have to go all official and go to the executive director. So I'll turn the program over to her. Yeah, okay. 98.3. I'm good. I can turn it over to you safely, Natasha. It's all yours. Natasha Pernick is the executive director of the food pantries for the Capital District. She is also a saint and a dear friend, and I thank her very much for inviting me once again, and I am delighted to turn the program over to her.
Thank you, Joe. And thank you so much for hosting. Good evening, everyone. I have to say that this has been and is continuing to be quite a ride this year. And there isn't anyone else that I would want to go through this than my food pantries team. Now, in its 9th year, our Harvest Evening celebration is always a special evening. It's a night when we all come together, our pantry members, our supporters, our board, volunteers, and staff team, and really celebrate what we have all accomplished by working together while acknowledging that there is still so much work to be done. But we have a lot of amazing people and organizations to thank. So I want to start by thanking our sponsors, all of our event sponsors. In particular, I want to shout out to Platinum supporters, AOW Associates, Capital Financial Planning, Fagan Associates, and Troy Webb. And I also want to thank our public representatives for being here. Susan Zimmett is here representing Governor Cuomo, and we'll say a few words in a minute. Also want to thank Congressman Tonko, Senator Breslin, and Assemblyman McDonald for their support. Our honorary Harvest Evening Celebration co-chairs, Nikki Armsby and Todd Slingerland, thank you. To the Harvest Evening Celebration Committee, to our food pantry members and our Community Food Assistance Network members, our board members and volunteers, our staff, special shout out to Kathy Marco, and all of you who are here tonight. Really thank you for being here and participating on this virtual adventure. When we looked to reimagine our gala in a virtual format, a lot was going on at the food pantries, and I'm sure a lot was going on in your lives as well. When COVID hit and the shutdown happened, our food access referral line experienced a 1,000% increase in call volume. Nearly 50% of our 66 food pantry members in the capital region experienced an increase in services, some up to 150 and 200%, and many are still seeing increases in people seeking assistance. We've been working with area food pantries and across sectors to coordinate resources for home delivery of pantry groceries to those who are vulnerable, and also those who are homebound or lack transportation. And when you think about it, to put it in perspective, last year, which was what we would consider a normal year, 65,000 people received enough food for more than 3.9 million meals through our coalition, just here in the capital region. This year, with the crisis and unemployment, we're seeing many more people in need of food and access. So tonight, because this is a celebration, let us celebrate the incredible effort of our member food pantries, our partners, all of the volunteers, and those of you who are supporting these efforts. Because of you, people have access to nutritious food in one of the most devastating times in our recent history. Working together, we can do more than any one of us alone. And because we also acknowledge that there is still so much work to be done, we anticipate the impact of this crisis to last for some time. Ongoing support is critical, and we thank you so much for continuing to support our work and our members' work here in the community. We're grateful. I want to take a moment to acknowledge an incredible person who we lost to COVID this year. If you are a Harvest Evening Celebration regular, you probably either knew him or would have recognized him. He always made people feel welcome at the event. Sorry. Bruce Sawalski is a longtime board member and pantry volunteer. And he was one of the biggest champions of the food pantries, and personally an incredible mentor and friend. Our team, our board, and volunteers benefited greatly from his tough questions, his vision and business acumen, his guidance and support, and his sense of humor. He had a big, big heart, and he was always eager to help us and so many other organizations in any way that he could. Bruce's involvement with the food pantries was deep. He joined the board in 2011. He served as president, secretary, he was a member of the executive committee. He chaired the personnel and building committees and was a member of the finance and harvest committees. In 2018, we honored Bruce with the Sister Mary Coons Award for his unwavering dedication to the food pantries and the people that we serve. We lost one of our greatest supporters, but more importantly, we lost a dear friend. Bruce enjoyed Harvest, and he served on the committee since its inception. It's only fitting that we raise a toast to him at the beginning of this year's event. So if you will please join me in raising your glasses to Bruce. Thank you so much, everyone. Now I'm turning it back to you, Joe, because you're going to announce the winners of this year's Chef's Challenge competition. So
oh, yes, this is the cool part. I just want to, it seems so weird not to have this event without Bruce and just our love and affection to him. It was such a special person. Okay, here go the awards. This year's Chef's Challenge took place over the month of October on the Food Pantry's social media pages, and voting took place on the website from the 23rd through the 28th. So these are newly compiled. We did not use the post office. There was early voting, and everything turned out to be fine. Winner of best use of a food pantry item is Al Brown from Bethesda House. Congratulations, Al. And the crowd goes wild. This is the, oh, thank you, Matt. Matt clapped. Thank you, Matt. We also, the winner of best taste is Eric Hisai of Prime Business Dining. Eric, congratulations. Good for you. Very, very nice. Winner of simplest for a pantry consumer to recreate. Let me see if I have that right. So simplest for a pantry consumer to recreate. Oh, that goes to our friend Deanna Fox of the Albany Cooking School. Congratulations, Deanna. That is lovely. Good for you. Winner of the People's Choice Award, this will probably come as no surprise, but the People's Choice Award goes to Kizzy Williams of Allie B's Cozy Kitchen once again. And Kizzy, congratulations. Great, wonderful, wonderful honor for you. So to all the winners, we thank you very much. Thanks to all the chefs for taking part in this year's challenge. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Susan, you are there. I see you're ready to go. Susan is the New York State Anti-Hunger Policy Coordinator who is here tonight representing the governor. We are thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much for being with us. I turn it over to you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, great.
I can.
Okay, so thank you, and thank you all for being here tonight, and congratulations to all the winners. So before I read a statement from the governor, which I'm honored to do, I just have to say a personal word of how much I love the organization and how much I love Natasha Pernica, your executive director. When I started out a number of years ago in the hunger field, one of the first people I met was Natasha. And I started to work at the very beginning on trying to increase the hunger prevention nutrition assistance program budget in the state budget, which is the money that goes to the pantries. And I called Natasha to come to a press conference with me, along with Assemblyman Crespo and a number of other people. And I have never stopped calling on Natasha since that day. She was always by my side. She was at every event we always did. She was just a great, great partner as an advocate. Since I've transitioned over to the state, working for the governor, Natasha has become one of my go-to people that I consistently go to for issues, to talk about things, to understand what's happening on the ground. She's always in the forefront of taking the pantries of the Capital District into new realms, whether it's food as an RX, you know, food as medicine. She's been leading the charge on that. She's leading the charge in making sure that everybody who needs food knows how to access it, no matter where they live in the state, with a virtual website. She's just constantly on top of things, moving things. She's trying to take a leadership role in home delivery to get food to people over the winter, which I'm hoping to scale up with Natasha very soon, fingers crossed. So she's just an incredible partner. She's a wonderful leader. Your organization is phenomenal, and I'm really honored to be here just as a friend and also representing the governor. So I do have a special message from the governor, and I will mail this to you, Natasha, after the elections when the mailers may be working. And so you will get a copy of this, but I'm waiting till after the election. So this is from the governor. Dear friends, It's a pleasure to send greetings to everyone who participates in the 9th Annual Harvest Evening Celebration and the Food Pantry Chef's Challenge virtual reception to benefit the food pantries for the Capital District. You're gathering online for a VIP virtual reception in an effort to maintain a safe social distance as we continue to face the challenges of this coronavirus pandemic. The Food Pantries for the Capital District was established in 1979, and this dynamic coalition of now nearly 70 food pantries throughout Albany, Rensselaer, Saratoga, and Schenectady counties helps to deliver groceries for 3.3 million meals annually, providing the basic staples of a healthy diet to more than 65,000 neighbors in need. As an effective umbrella organization, the Food Pantry staff and volunteers not only work on funding, purchasing, collecting, and delivering of food, but also run programs that include forums for networking, coordinating, educating, and training. Tonight, you come together virtually to enjoy a wine tasting, beer and food pairings, and to interact with local celebrity chefs who understand, quote, the Food Pantry Chef's Challenge, submitting videos of their wonderful creations throughout the past month. I commend all the participants and chefs, as well as the Food Pantry staff and volunteers, whose selfless and tireless contribution helped to offset the terrible problems of hunger and food insecurity. With warmest regards and best wishes for a safe and successful evening, sincerely, Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. And so with that, it's an honor again to be here. It's an honor to represent the governor. It's really an honor to be friends with Natasha in the pantry and so many other friends that are on here, like Angela Warner and other people. Great to be here with you tonight, and I turn it back over to you, Joe.
Susan, thank you so much. Thank you for your friendship and all the help over the years, and special thanks to the governor as well and his kind words. Wonderful way to start off our evening. Thank you so much. So now we move to the your selected breakout room. So all you have to do is please accept that invitation when it pops up on your screen. So apparently something's going to start popping up on your screen. And when that happens, all you have to do is just click on the link, accept that invitation. A reminder to follow the link to the in the chat to visit the live auction, the mission auction, and the wine pool. The wine pool is always cool. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes on virtual. So there's one way to find out, which is go to it and do what you can do. I would also just like to thank Stacy. Stacy started a hashtag in regards to Natasha. As Susan was saying the nice things about Natasha, which we all share. Stacy just said hashtag badass. So please, in every chat in every chat message from now on well, I was going to say for the rest of the evening, but for the rest of the year, just, you know, Natasha badass, please. Hashtag Natasha badass. So go on over, have a beautiful time. I think then we'll come back, right? Then we come back and we'll talk later. Have a beautiful time. Have a wonderful time with your hosts. And don't forget to tip whoever's in the room with you. And have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And we'll be back later. Thank you very much.
and you could click it and it'll come up, and I will just keep checking that for you guys, and I'll ask the chefs any of the questions you guys have, and I'll make sure I get them all in. And so with that, I'm gonna introduce our presenter next now. We have such wonderful presenters here. So first we have Chef Eric Tazai, and I hope I said your last name right. I know we're all pronouncing it tonight. You're a Prime Business Dining, just won an award, so congratulations on that. And then we have Kizzy Williams. She's of Ali B's Cozy Kitchen, also a winner tonight, so congratulations. And then restaurateur Donna Pernomo of Yonos, and table hopping columnist Steve Barnes from the Times-Union. So many good people to ask so many questions to. We're also gonna put in a link to that auction for you in the chat for everyone as well. So you can check that out if you wanna go to any of those auctions. So currently I don't see any questions in the chat yet. So if there's any of the chefs who do want to, or Steve Barnes, anyone who wants to speak out and say a few words and impart us with your wisdom, that would be great.
No, I'm the dinosaur. I'll go if no one else wants to.
Perfect, Donna.
Okay, because somebody has to start it off. And seriously, since the dinosaurs roamed the earth in Albany, circa 1978, Yono and I met on a cruise ship. It's really sappy, I know. I was music and theater. He was working front of the house on the cruise ship. Long story short, to make peace, I was living in Long Island, in Southampton. We came back up here where I'm from. And because back then, I know it sounds crazy, but an Italian girl from Amsterdam marrying a guy from Indonesia, which honestly, I had no idea what an Indonesian was at that point in time, having graduated from college, or where it was on the map. So I have definitely evolved. But that is how I started in the restaurant business, kind of married into it. And when we started out in Albany, Yono's first job was at the Ramada Inn, across from SUNY on Western Avenue. And someone there, a salesperson, introduced Yono to Jim Rua. And that kind of was a kickstart right off the bat. So I was here, believe me, the Albany food scene, I have seen and lived the Renaissance. Back then, gosh, there was a prime rib house, and there were some, the red tablecloth spaghetti house kind of thing. A lot of meat and potatoes. So definitely for the better. The food scene has just grown leaps and bounds. And I'm really proud to work with many of the chefs that we do on a regular basis for these type of events.
And I'll jump in here and say that because Donna is too modest to say this, one of the extraordinary things over the 20 or so years that I've been covering restaurants is to learn exactly how much local restaurants and other businesses give to charity events like this. It's Legrand Saris, the famed auctioneer and owner of the former Real Seafood, is famed for saying this, but he says, you're never going to see something like a chain. You're not going to see an Olive Garden. You're not going to see any of those that line Wolf Road and that Legrand competed against for decades. They're not going to be giving, and yet restaurateurs do dearly, and many of them hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of food and time. And back when we could have these things together, Yono Pernomo was going off at least once a week, sometimes multiple times a week, and he'd come back in at 9 or 10 o'clock at night after having fed hundreds of people. And so the support that area restaurateurs give to charity is really extraordinary. And I think it's also made us appreciate exactly how much we love food and wine and getting together as a way to support things. It really is having something, you notice an absence when it's there, and not having gone out to things, not having had events to go to or even events to write about. And I know our social photographer, Joe Potrock, is completely missing seeing all of these hundreds of people. And it really is made possible because people want to get together for food and wine and conversation to help support charities. And that's really owed to people like Donna and Kizzy Williams and the Mazzone. So thank you all.
And Kizzy and Steve, if you want to feel free to add any comments too. And if not, again, if anyone has any questions for them, please feel free to type them in or even ask them right away.
Hello today. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you wonderfully.
Awesome. I am so honored to be here tonight. You know, just being a part of the harvest, it's honorable. You know, where you get to donate your time, you get to showcase a great meal. And the meal that I cooked, well, actually is a salad. The salad that I did, I learned when I was a little girl. I was in elementary school, and that carrot salad is something very American. Did you guys grow up, Steve, did you grow up on that carrot salad that I cooked, that I made? It's carrots, it's with apples, it's with raisins.
Well, I have a problem. I don't like fruit in my salads.
Oh.
But everybody else in my family does. And so, you know, sometimes I'd flick the raisins off to the dog, or if there was grapes in the chicken salad, or, you know, I'm kind of a vegetables in my salad and fruit comes after dinner kind of guy.
Well, you know what I realized with this salad is it's easy to get the kids to like it because of the fruit. So that's why I chose that dish for this event. It's simple, it's fresh, and it's also elegant, you know? And all of these vegetables and fruits are provided from the food pantry. You know, carrots, apples, and raisins. These are items that's always in their bag when they're sharing with families. But I'm just happy to be here tonight, and thank y'all for welcoming me. This is my 5th year with you guys, if I'm right, and I can't wait till next year. Next year, we won't be doing this on computer. We're gonna be doing this in a room, and we'll be mingling with each other and dancing and smiling and hugging each other next year. So
amen to that.
It's definitely an honor. So I'm gonna let whoever's next get on here and talk. But Allie B's is happy. Right now we're open, business is running. And my family, they're in the background, they're over there waving at me, they're happy, and I'm happy. And Natasha, we love you. And I wanna tell Natasha, I thank her for not just taking care of the employees at the food pantry, but also the whole capital region. You know, I had called Natasha in August, and 64 Quell Street, the nonprofit organization that we have created, needed some food. The food pantry showed up in a truck and fed a whole community. So thank you for continuing to change lives and build families, and continuing to encourage people and let people know that there is support. So thank you, Food Pantry, and God bless.
Well, Kizzy, why don't you tell people who don't necessarily know, you've got the restaurant, but then you also have this other project that you just alluded to. I mean, it started with an empty lot. So tell people a little bit about that, what you're doing there.
Well, the Culture Center, it started with an empty lot, is located 64 Quellen First, and what it is, a resource center. What it does is it showcases the community of things that they need, like they need to build their own wealth. We teach the community how they can purchase land, how they can buy a home, and give confidence and self-esteem. We donate clothes. We have a food pantry that was donated to us by Open World Relief. We have a library on the property. The Culture Center is about teaching the community that they can build, that they can change their life, and they can change their community. In this community where the Culture Center is located, there has been so much crime, has been shooting, it has been lost a little. And what the Culture Center is going to do, what it is doing, it stops crime. It builds families. And the food pantry has helped us. And thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Capital Region Food Pantry. So it takes a village. And you know, the Culture Center has Allie B's to help donate food to the Culture Center, but the Culture Center is building neighborhoods. And we're there to, how can I say this? Just change lives. The same way the food pantry is changing lives, and we cannot do it alone, and we're not doing it alone. So we have great people like the food pantry, grassroots, Open World Relief, the mayor, and just the politicians. As I would say, thank John McDonald's because he has donated to us, and so many others. And you know what, Steve? You have to come by. The same way you support Allie B's, we want to invite you over to the Culture Center so you can see what we're building over there. In March, we will be having an event with the Capitol Rep. So we will be inviting you to that, Steve.
Sounds good.
There's so much great things is coming through with the Culture Center. And I'm going to say by June, we want to say, hopefully we have at least 5 families that bought lots from the land bank. Right now we have families filling out applications, applying for lots for the land bank. If you have not heard of the land bank, it's in the Capital Region, and what they do is they sell land that's right here in the Capital Region for very low prices, where you can get a lot for $600 and create something, build wealth in your family. And you know, not too many people know about that. So what we're going to do at the Culture Center is continue to enhance all the great opportunities that the Culture Center, that the Capital Region has to offer. November 8th, we will be having Hamilton at the Culture Center, and it's to also showcase the community that even though this is 64 Quelling First, we are still Broadway. And Hamilton is a play that was created on Broadway that everybody loves. And it's affiliated with the Capital Region. When we think of the Scholar Sisters, if I'm pronouncing it right, the Scholar Sisters. And in Harlem, where I'm from. So it brings in elegance, it brings in it's a life of poor and rich together in one. And that's what the Culture Center is about. It's about bringing everyone together.
Nice. Let's bring in, where's Eric?
Right here.
Oh, Eric. So to go from a small little place to Mazzone, which is one of the dominant in the area, tell us about the role Mazzone plays with charity and how you've worked with food charities over the years as a chef.
Yeah, Mazzone actually helps out a lot. This is my 3rd year, I think, doing this, and I think it's, you know, amazing. I'm super happy. I like to make and create really good food and dishes. So yeah, I mean, it's a good thing.
And what about the company, from the company's perspective? I mean, what message do you get? Because, you know, Prime Business Dining is part of Mazzone Hospitality. Kate, you know, does corporate catering and corporate cafeterias and businesses and things, although I would imagine many of them were empty for much of this year. But in terms of what is the message you get, and it's also part of, you know, one of the, probably the largest food service organization and company in the world, but what is the message that you get from the top about the role even a big company like yours plays in giving back to its community?
Yeah, any opportunity that we get to help out and do things to help the community, we do. My hand's always the first one in whenever I hear about it. I enjoy doing these things. I used to do them a lot when I was in the restaurant aspect, but you know, just I stepped away for a little bit, but I'm back here and ready to take action and help more.
So now, I don't know if you heard this, but this person who was representing the governor tonight referred to you and Donna and Kizzy as celebrity chefs.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels good. You know, I put a lot of time and work into this. Some of you guys know I worked under Dale Miller for many years. Started off as a dishwasher at 18 years old at Jack's Oyster House. I saw how successful he was, and he inspired me a lot. And then I moved on to the Culinary Institute of America, did that, did a few things in Miami, South Beach. I did a little internship down there at a 4-star, 4-diamond restaurant. So kind of exposed me to a lot food, you know, just I have a passion for it. I love cooking great, beautiful dishes. Then I ended up working, I got a job with Angelo a few years after that, working at Prime Business Dining. Then moved on to Open Tala American Bistro. That was a good time. And
But I'm saying the governor called you a celebrity chef. You know, I mean,
good.
I can give Angelo a call and put in and lobby for a raise, because celebrity chef has got to be worth a 10% bump. I mean, Cuomo called you a celebrity chef. So Donna, are you going to give yourself a raise?
Make the call.
Yeah, I will.
No raises until until Congress passes some sort of a bill that I know is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Oh, come on. You know, you sing at charity things, Donna, but you normally will do an entire tune. We got to get more than a phrase.
Yeah, if, you know, someone gets the audience into a frenzy and bids a lot of money, because to get me to come out of retirement, you know, Steve.
Well, I'm waiting for little things to pop up at the bottom of the screen. In the past, you know, they've auctioned off Donna's songs for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I mean, I've got a package of ramen noodles. Like, you know, I can get that and donate to a food pantry. And I do have some extra cheese.
Hey, we can make banh mi out of that ramen. Come on. We are not going to look down at that. We all love our banh mi.
So over the years, do you have a favorite? Now, of course, all the charities are like all of your children. They're your favorites. But in terms of anything that really matters, that is special to you, that's not Wine and Dine for the Arts, which you co-founded 11 years ago, what has, over the years, that you've really enjoyed being a part of these events?
For me?
Yes.
For Nomo?
Oh, my goodness. We have $100 for Donna to sing. I just thought, wow.
Okay. Well, going way, way, way back, Center for the Disabled, the Culinary Cornucopia,
Yeah.
where, oh, God, seriously, so old. But I feel like the chefs today, I'm their grandmother, because going back then, are we like 30 years away from the first one, the inaugural? And I feel like that really was the first event of its kind, where before that, you know, our not-for-profits would engage restaurants to cater for them. And Yono and I had gone to see Taste of Vermont, and he just was so impressed with that. He thought it was a terrific thing. And I did, you know, whatever, the 15 chefs, and they had competed in an American Culinary Federation competition. So there was something for everybody. There was something for the chefs. There was something for the people that enjoyed food and wine, and it made a lot of money for the sponsoring organization. So Yono has the best, he's got the greatest ideas in the world. And the smartest thing that he does is to surround himself with wonderful people who can help him bring things to fruition. So Joan Meyer, who was the executive director back then for Center for the Disabled, he had known her from 21 Elk Street, 21 Restaurant Days. And they said, well, you know, let's give this a shot. You know, we'll see what happens, test the waters. And I really think that that was the first of its kind, where a group of chefs willingly, because the hearts could not be any bigger, they all said yes. They weren't sure what they had signed up for, but did the competition, won gold, silver, and bronze medals, and fed, I think the first time it was in the KeyBank building, it was Stars, well, I think the same building that Dale Miller
Right.
and Taste wound up being in. And we had to be kind of chopped up in different rooms. So the first year, maybe 300 and some odd people. And then after that, moved to the Marriott, where it was not uncommon for them to be 660 people in attendance, and 15, 16, 17, 18 chefs. So that,
and that's sort of the standard. That's the model now. We've got, you know, it became, you say that 30 years ago that it wasn't done. It was, you would go one place would cater an event, and now chefs get together. And Wine and Dine for the Arts was a perfect example of that. You know, you had dozens and dozens of chefs, and even the dinner was a collaboration of 6 chefs, one doing each course. We have a question here. What, can the moderator see that? It popped off of my screen.
Yes.
What do chefs cook?
It said, what foods do the chefs cook for themselves at home? Great question, since we're all at home with the pandemic right now. But so what are some of the foods you guys cook?
I know the answer to this, and chefs eat cereal over the kitchen sink at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Beef bones.
Is that true?
I like beef bones. I cook things like beef bones, and I use a pressure cooker at home. So pressure cooker and beef bones.
I just made 10 quarts of stock the other morning. One of the advantages of working at home. I had chicken parts and beef parts and pork parts and vegetables, and they went into a huge pot and just cooked all day while I sat there at my computer.
Works. I'm scatolin beans.
What do you cook at home, Donna?
Scatolin beans, the Italian, or chambote, which is another one. And this has been a great summer because everybody that is dropping off, hey, you know, I've got this in my garden and I have that in my garden, zucchini and eggplant and fresh tomatoes. And it just all goes in a big pot with oregano and basil and the same thing, you know, cooks for a while. And I don't know. I am monastic, where I will eat the same thing until it's gone. Could be 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. I might cook it and freeze some so I never run out. Where Yono gets bored, you know, whatever he's watching on the Food Network, I get craving. I have craving. So, you know, you've seen it, you know. Yeah, I go old school Italian.
All right, Eric, your turn.
I'm a big comfort food guy. Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, meat and potatoes. I like to cook fresh pasta every now and then too, you know.
Okay. Years ago, somebody gave me a pasta maker to make fresh pasta, and it sat in its box in my cupboard until after 10 years, somebody offered to buy it from me, and I never once used it. So make the case for why somebody should make fresh pasta at home.
I like doing it just because it's fun to just make it with whoever you're with. Like I like making it with my wife, but you can involve kids too. So it's just nice to, you know.
It's not complicated and the pain in the ass?
No, not for me, but for some people it may be, yeah.
Oh, you're not selling it very well.
No, but it's just fun to just gather and just hang out with people that you love, and you cook a nice meal together.
This will appeal to Steve. It's fast, cheap, and easy. How's that?
But now that I don't have my pasta maker,
Was it just the sheeter and the cutter?
Yeah, you know, but it was that classic. It was that, you know, I mean, although I suppose I could just, you know, make some dough, roll it out, and, you know, cut it with a knife.
Tagliatelle, yeah, you could do that. Yeah. You dry it on the bed, put a white sheet on the bed like the old days.
Like the bedroom bed, you just put a sheet over the.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Nani did. My grandma did. Had a great big, I still have, the board is in my garage. It's this great big wooden board that they probably dragged over from Italy in, you know, 1920, and it looks like a broom handle, and that is the rolling pin. Yeah. Organic, come on.
All right, favorite pasta shape?
Well, for me, tagliatelle, because that's easy. And you don't need a fancy sheeter and a what have you thingy.
What about gnocchi? I love gnocchi when somebody else is making it. Well, it looks like we had another question there. Can the moderator get that for us?
Yes. Is there any sauce, meal, side dish the chefs say, just buy it, it's too much work to make it? So any sauce, meat side dish, or meal side dish, sorry. So sauce, meal, side dish that someone should just go buy too complicated to make, too much work.
Thinking.
Buy the baked beans. It takes so long. It's like a whole day to make real homemade baked beans. I mean, I make them, but I would say buy them.
I think the biggest thing for a lot of home cooks is timing. Making things like if you're making broth, you just put everything in and then it goes for a while. But in terms of what I think I hear from people is it gets complicated to try to get things to come together. So do you have any tactics or strategies for making a meal come out all right at the same time?
Yeah, going off that, I think it's the multitasking of having 4 things at once.
Definitely
playing air traffic controller in the kitchen. So Donna, how do you make sure Thanksgiving is done?
Well, you know what? It's not being a trained culinarian. I have learned a lot, and I'm always a good wingman in the kitchen because I listen and I watch. And in our kitchen, we have signs hanging up that say sense of urgency. And I've learned a lot by watching what goes on around me. Thanksgiving, that's a whole other ball game because that's something that I like complete control over. And I'll start a couple of days ahead of time. And it's, some traditional, some untraditional, but that it really is a marathon. And our family likes just the silly stuff, that broccoli with cheese sauce and the Aunt Hattie's corn pudding, that traditional stuff, the sweet potato casserole with the crumble topping, the turkey. Everybody makes their stuffing different. They seem to like the one that I make with Italian sausage. Our family used to make it with American sausage, my mom's side. And then we had a bartender, his name was Frankie Casatelli, had a monocle forever back at 289 Hamilton. And we were talking about, because it's a big deal, this stuffing the turkey is a huge deal. We were talking about who liked what, and he brought some of his mom's in day after Thanksgiving, which she made with Italian sausage. And ever since that day, that's been it. And then, we have Joni Dembinski working with us, who's famous for her stuffing. But Yono and I can definitely get in each other's way when it comes to that Thanksgiving thing. And it's taken, married for 43 years. And I've been hosting Thanksgiving. That's our meal to host, although it'll be really small this year. But it's taken me a while to kind of get it together. And, professional chefs, I bow down because it's a skill, it's a science, it's experience, and even something simple today in our kitchen. You have the saute station, you have the grill station, you have the wok station, you have garde-manger, you have pastry, you have this, you have all these things going on. When I walk into the kitchen, if I see French fries sitting there, but the chicken pistachio and or the short ribs are not done, it's like, nope, do over. Does anybody else, Eric, do you ever see that in your world where the burger's not necessarily plated, the sauteed dishes aren't done,
Yep.
but the French, why? Why?
Now, don't undersell yourself, Donna. I've seen the cakes you make. Over the summer, you made an extraordinary cake. So, when it comes to baking a cake, you take the cake.
Yeah, I take the cake. And thank God, when I was a little kid growing up, we didn't have this. YouTube. I swear to God, you plot it, I have to make a wedding cake that is way above my pay grade. Help me, please. And I found 3 different videos and picked up a lot of tips. I had worked a little bit with fondant because I was forced to, but It really is a lot about the tricks of the trade. And inherently, I don't know those. I have to learn them by seeing somebody else do that. But thank you, Steve. You're very kind.
Let's go back to Kizzy for a minute. Kizzy, what did you, besides everything, what did you learn about running a restaurant and cooking that you thought you knew before, but that you didn't?
Also, I want to add in, we do have a question for Kizzy.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's, does she smoke her own ribs? And what kind of wood do you use if you do smoke your own ribs?
Well, actually, no, I don't use a smoker. We just use a regular charcoal grill. But, you know, sometimes we do get like maple wood, and because someone may request the maple wood, and we mix it with charcoal. And so no, we were not smoking in the smoker. We're just cooking on a charcoal grill. Now, this is what I would tell you about running a restaurant. You know, like before I owned Allie B's, you think of it being very simple. And now that I own the restaurant, I guess it's the people, how the people fall in love with you. You know, when you run a restaurant, you think that the people, they're going to come in and they're going to go. What happens is when you run a restaurant, they become your family. And they love you. And this is the truth. Allie B's is closed to walk-ins. And the reason why I'm closed to walk-ins at the moment is because I love my customers. And if my customers would come in my restaurant right now, I would have to hug them. I would have to hug them. I would have to love them, you know, give them conversations. So that's another reason why Allie B's Cozy's Kitchen still does curbsides and only deliveries, because of the love that we share in Allie B's. It's very aggressive. And you would not believe the customers come now, even though we do curbsides and deliveries, and sometimes they say, tell her to come out right now. I just need to look at her. I just want to say hello to her. So I didn't know that it was going to be more family, such family orientated, so much love, so much encouragement. I'm never left alone. I'm never by myself. The customers, they're everything. And I have became their family. So when you open up a restaurant, you begin a new family. Like when someone has a baby in the family, is welcoming a new family member. But when you open up a restaurant and business is good, customers love you, you have hundreds of new family members. So that's what I would say to someone. You know, you may think that opening a restaurant is just about you, your family. Nope, it becomes you and your community. So that's what I would say, Steve.
Thank you.
Awesome.
How are we on time? Do we need to?
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. We were supposed to wrap it up around 6:50, so we're right on time. But someone did make a comment in a group that was great, a volunteer with the food pantry, who said perhaps the chefs here could provide a really simple, easy recipe that they could put out with deliveries to people. You know, they mentioned Kizzy or carrot salad, something someone easy could do at home. That's something maybe you guys could work out with the office at the food pantry, because if it's just a sheet of paper and something easy for them to follow, that would be a great idea. So perhaps you guys could think of something. So I loved that idea.
I love it too.
In the group chat as well. So that would be great. And Kizzy, you already got yours. You got your carrot salad, so you're good.
And you know what? I will definitely do that. I'm going to do that starting Wednesday.
Great. Awesome.
Okay.
Everyone, thank you so much for participating in this room. Steve, thank you for facilitating so many great conversations. That was wonderful. And just a reminder about the auction, we just posted the link in the chat. So if you want, it's open till tomorrow, till 7 p.m. So you have the wine poll, the silent auction, mission auction. So feel free to go visit that. And I hope everyone had fun and learned a little something as well. But thank you guys.
Thanks.